Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we kind of take your requests and we turn them into these knowledge expeditions.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, so today's journey, APR Industries.
Okay.
And you guys have given us quite the treasure map. We've got their FY24 annual report. We've got conference call transcripts.
Wow.
Even some investor presentations.
Yeah, it's like we're about to step into the control room of a company that's powering much of India's energy grid and beyond.
Yeah, you're not kidding. It is fascinating to see a company like APR so deeply involved in multiple aspects of the energy sector, but branching out into telecom and transportation too.
Yeah, this deep dive should give everyone a great overview of their current position, strategic goals, and even the potential risks they face.
Okay, so to give you a sense of what APR actually does, imagine this, everything from the massive power lines crisscrossing the country down to the oil-keeping transformers, humming. They've got their hands in it.
They're not just flipping switches, they're making the switches.
That's a good way to put it.
So let's break down the business into their 7 core segments.
Okay.
You've got conductors, cables, specialty oils, lubricants.
Okay.
And even a foray into telecom solutions.
So they're not just like cables and conductors.
Right. And what's striking is the diversity. They're clearly aiming to be more than just a power player.
Yeah, and they're not just dabbling either. They're actually the world's largest manufacturer of aluminum and aluminum alloy conductors.
Precisely. Their conductors are used in power transmission lines, transformers, and even in high-speed rail projects like India's Vande Bharat Express.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's a lot of infrastructure relying on Apar.
Speaking of railways, they're involved in some really cool projects for the Indian Navy, too.
Oh, yeah.
Supplying cables for submarines.
Yeah, that's a pretty niche market.
Yeah.
What made them decide to go in that direction? It's a great example of how Apar is strategically positioning itself. The Indian Navy has ambitious modernization plans, and APR is right there ready to supply the specialized cables needed for these sophisticated vessels.
So they're not just riding the wave, they're anticipating where the wave is going to be.
Exactly.
This leads us perfectly to the energy sector, which is obviously huge GE for them. And with this global push towards renewables, there's got to be a lot of potential there, right?
Absolutely. India alone plans to add 50,000 circuit kilometers of transmission lines and 400,000 MVA of substation capacity by 2030.
Wow.
That's a lot of infrastructure needing APR's products.
For those of you wondering what MVA means, it stands for megavolt ampere. And it's essentially a measure of how much power a transformer can handle.
Right.
So 400,000 MVA, that's a huge amount of power.
It really highlights the scale of India's energy ambitions.
But are there even enough skilled workers to build all of this? I mean, it's one thing to have the demand, but if you don't have the people to actually build the infrastructure.
That's a crucial point, and APR seems to be ahead of the curve. They're heavily investing in training programs, particularly their skill center that focuses on tribal women and youth.
It's more than just a smart move. It's a commitment to creating a sustainable workforce for their future projects.
Exactly, and it's not just about meeting their own needs. It's about empowering communities and creating a skilled workforce for the entire industry.
And they're not limiting themselves to just India. They're targeting growth in the U.S. and Europe as well.
Yes, but those markets are tougher to crack. They've got well-established global players.
Yeah.
APR will need to leverage its competitive advantages to make headway.
So let's talk market share. It seems like they're already leaders in some key areas. They're the top renewable energy cable manufacturer in India, for example.
Exactly, and they're using innovation to solidify that position.
Okay.
They've developed specialized cables for harsh environments and even a biodegradable transformer oil.
Biodegradable transformer oil. That's something you don't hear every day. I'm curious, how does that even work?
Well, traditional transformer oils are mineral oil-based, which can be harmful to the environment if there's a spill.
Yeah, of course.
APA's biodegradable oil is made from vegetable sources and is designed to break down, naturally minimizing environmental impact.
So it's a win-win, better for the planet, and positions APA as a leader in sustainable technology.
Right.
This raises an important question for you, listener. How much weight do you give to a company's sustainability practices when considering investments?
Good question.
Now, while biodegradable oil is impressive, are they just focusing on green products?
Not entirely.
Okay.
They're also pushing high-efficiency conductors that reduce energy loss, and they've even gotten into the electric vehicle lubricant market.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a smart move considering how fast that sector is growing. It seems like they're anticipating future trends and positioning themselves accordingly.
Exactly.
But let's be realistic. Every company faces competition. Who are the big names that APR is going up against?
Globally, you've got giants like Prysmian Nexans and Southwire. These are not small players.
No.
APR is aiming to compete by offering turnkey solutions,
Okay.
where they handle everything from design to installation.
So they're becoming a one-stop shop.
Precisely.
That could be a real differentiator, especially for clients looking for a hassle-free experience.
Exactly. And they're leveraging their R&D expertise to develop cutting-edge products and gain that first-mover advantage in certain areas.
Okay, time for the not-so-fun part. Risks.
Uh-oh.
Every company has them, right?
Yeah.
What did the auditors flag as potential concerns for APR?
One thing that jumped out at me was their reliance on manual processes for interdivision reconciliation,
Okay.
especially considering their complex IT systems and the sheer volume of transactions they handle.
And in this digital age, cybersecurity is a major concern for any company.
Absolutely. The report explicitly highlighted the risk of disruptions to their IT systems. Any breach could significantly impact their financial reporting and overall operations.
So they need to be investing in robust security measures. They can't afford to fall behind on that front.
This for sure.
What else stood out to you?
The auditors also mention a reliance on certain key personnel.
Okay.
While their expertise is valuable, losing them could be disruptive.
It seems like they're aware of these vulnerabilities in their investor presentations. They discussed initiatives to streamline their IT systems and develop a robust talent pipeline.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
But it's one thing to acknowledge the risks. It's another to effectively mitigate them.
Absolutely.
What do you think, listener? Does APAR's approach to risk management give you confidence?
Let's move on to corporate governance.
Okay.
Are they walking the walk when it comes to ethics and sustainability?
From what we've seen, they seem to have solid corporate governance practices in place.
Okay.
They've got a robust code of conduct, a whistleblower policy, and various committees overseeing risk management and corporate social responsibility.
That sounds promising. But are they actually making a positive social impact?
Yeah.
I mean, actions speak louder than words.
Let's explore that next. This deep dive is just getting started.
Okay, sounds good.
That's where their sustainability initiatives come in. They're actively reducing their carbon footprint, promoting renewable energy, and even working towards water neutrality at their largest facility.
Water neutrality, what does that actually mean?
It's a pretty ambitious goal, essentially. They're working to replenish the water they use, minimizing their impact on local water resources.
Wow.
They're even integrating this into the design of their new facilities.
So they're really thinking long-term, not just about profits, but about their environmental and social impact.
It seems that way. They're trying to be a responsible corporate citizen.
And this commitment to sustainability kind of ties into another key area, their focus on people.
Yeah.
The report actually highlighted APAR's family-like culture and their focus on employee well-being.
Yes, they use the term APAR Parivar, which emphasizes a sense of belonging.
It's interesting to see a company of their size prioritize that kind of culture.
Especially in today's world, where people are constantly jumping from one job to the next.
Yeah, for sure.
It sounds like they're really trying to create a positive work environment.
And it seems to be working. They mentioned that some of their employees have been with them for over 30 or even 40 years.
That says a lot about company.
They also talked about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right.
Yes. They seem to be making a conscious effort to promote DEI throughout their organization.
Okay.
They talked about celebrating differences, encouraging open dialogue, and valuing diverse perspectives.
So it sounds like they're taking a holistic approach, not just focusing on the bottom line, but also on their employees, their communities, and the environment.
Exactly. It's that triple bottom line approach: people, planet, and profit.
Speaking of communities, they have some pretty impressive CSR initiatives. We're talking about building hospitals and skill development centers.
Their commitment to social responsibility is quite extensive. They mentioned their support for the Dharmsand Desai University, which aims to reduce its carbon footprint and promote renewable energy.
I see.
They've also contributed to the Gram Swaraj Charitable Trust, which runs a large skill center focused on tribal communities.
So while they are aiming for profitability, they're clearly trying to do it in a way that benefits society as a whole.
It seems that way.
Okay, let's get back to their financials for a moment. Their annual report highlighted their financial discipline. They're generating strong cash flow and maintaining a low debt-to-equity ratio.
Yes, their conservative financial approach has definitely served them well.
Mm-hmm.
It gives them a lot of flexibility to invest in growth and weather any economic storms that might come their way.
And it sounds like they're not afraid to invest. They're pouring money into capacity expansion R&D and new product development.
Exactly. They're playing the long game, investing in the future, but they're also facing some headwinds, particularly on the export front.
Right. Those container shipping disruptions have been a real pain point.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they adapt and overcome those logistical challenges.
Agreed. They mentioned that those disruptions have impacted their order inflow and delivery timelines.
Yeah.
They'll need to find creative solutions to mitigate those issues.
One strategy they've mentioned is focusing on strengthening their domestic presence while strategically expanding into new export markets that are less affected by shipping disruptions.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's about diversifying their risk and not putting all their eggs in one basket.
So to sum it up, APR is a complex, multifaceted company with a lot of moving parts. They've got a strong foundation, ambitious goals, and a commitment to sustainability. But they're also facing some significant challenges.
Precisely. It'll be fascinating to see how their story unfolds.
Okay, now for the really interesting part, remember this deep dive is for you, listener. So let's connect all of this back to you and why you should care about APR's journey.
Excellent point. What stands out to you from all of this?
Well, for me, it's the fact that APR is operating in a space that's undergoing a massive transformation, the global energy transition.
Right.
And their success or failure could have implications for how that transition plays out, especially in a rapidly developing economy like India.
Exactly. They're playing a key role in building the infrastructure for a more sustainable future.
And their focus on innovation, sustainability, and social responsibility aligns with the broader trends we're seeing globally.
It's like they're at the forefront of these interconnected global trends, energy infrastructure technology, and even social change.
Yes, and their story is a microcosm of those larger trends playing out on a global scale.
So if you're interested in understanding the future of energy infrastructure and sustainability, APR's journey is worth watching.
Absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see how their efforts in areas like training and skill development impact the workforce of the future.
Especially with their focus on empowering marginalized communities.
It's about more than just profits. It's about creating opportunities and building a more inclusive future.
And that brings us to our final takeaway for you, listener.
Okay.
How might APR's success or even their challenges affect your own industry or the community you live in?
It's a question worth pondering.
Now, while their overall vision is important, let's
Yeah.
dive into some of the specific details they shared in their investor presentations. They were very clear about their growth strategy and the key trends shaping their business.
They did, and I think it's crucial to understand those details to get a clear picture of their future prospects.
Agreed. They broke down their business into those 7 core segments, so let's start there.
Sounds good. Let's delve into each segment and see what insights we can glean.
First up, conductors. They're the global leader in this space, right?
That's right. And they emphasize the massive growth potential in the conductor market, driven by global infrastructure development and the increasing demand for electricity.
They mentioned that India alone plans to add over 50,000 circuit kilometers of transmission lines by 2030. That's a huge opportunity.
It is, and they're not just relying on the domestic market. They're targeting growth in the U.S. and Europe as well.
But they acknowledge that those markets are more competitive with established global players like Prysmian Nexans and Southwire.
Right.
They highlighted their competitive advantages, their focus on turnkey solutions, their R&D capabilities, and their ability to develop specialized products for harsh environments.
And they're investing heavily in capacity expansion to meet that growing demand. They mentioned acquiring 2 factories in Silvassa to boost their production capacity.
Smart move. They're positioning themselves to capture a larger share of that growing market.
Okay, let's move on to their cable solutions business. What stood out to you from their presentations?
While they emphasize the diversity of their cable portfolio, they're catering to a wide range of sectors from renewable energy and railways to defense and telecom.
They even mentioned supplying cables for India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant, and for submarine projects for the Indian Navy.
It's clear that they're targeting those niche, high-growth areas.
And they're leveraging their R&D capabilities to develop cutting-edge products like high-efficiency cables that reduce energy loss.
They're also positioning themselves as a leader in the renewable energy cable market, capitalizing on the global push towards clean energy.
They mentioned that they hold a significant market share in the solar and wind cable segments, which are expected to experience explosive growth in the coming years.
And they're not limiting themselves to just traditional energy sectors.
Right.
They're also investing in telecom solutions, particularly in the fiber optic cable market.
That's a smart move considering the rapid growth of data consumption and the rollout of 5G networks globally.
Exactly. They're positioning themselves to be a key player in the digital infrastructure of the future.
Okay, let's talk about their specialty oils business.
Okay.
Transformer oil is a key product for them, right?
Absolutely. It's a critical component in ensuring the efficient and safe operation of transformers.
And they're the third largest transformer oil manufacturer globally.
They are. And they're leveraging their global reach and expertise to expand into new markets.
Okay.
They highlighted their success in Australia and South Africa, where they've captured significant market share.
And they're investing in innovation to develop specialized oils, like their biodegradable transformer oil.
That's a game changer in terms of sustainability.
Yeah.
It reduces their environmental impact and positions them as a leader in the green technology space.
Exactly. And they're not just focusing on biodegradable oils, they're also developing high-performance oils that can withstand extreme temperatures and harsh environments.
They're constantly pushing the boundaries of innovation.
They are, and it's giving them a competitive edge.
Okay, let's move on to their lubricants business.
Okay.
They're a major player in the automotive and industrial lubricant markets, right?
They are. And they're leveraging their expertise to develop specialized lubricants for high-growth sectors like electric vehicles.
They mentioned that they're a leading player in the tractor lubricant market, and that they're expanding their presence in the light commercial vehicle segment.
Okay.
They're also focusing on developing high-performance lubricants that can meet the demanding requirements of modern engines and industrial machinery.
It sounds like they're taking a similar approach across all their business segments, targeting high-growth areas, investing in innovation, and leveraging their global reach.
They are, and it's a strategy that seems to be paying off.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about their recent financial performance. They had a solid first quarter with strong growth across all segments.
They exceeded analysts' expectations, and their management expressed optimism about the future.
But they also acknowledged the challenges they're facing, particularly those logistical disruptions in the export market.
Right. They're adapting their strategies to mitigate those disruptions, and they're confident that they can overcome those challenges.
They also emphasize their strong financial position, their low debt levels, and their ability to generate strong cash flow.
Which gives them a lot of flexibility to invest in growth and navigate any economic uncertainty.
Exactly. So overall, it seems like APR is in a good position to capitalize on the opportunities in the energy infrastructure and transportation sectors.
They are, but they'll need to stay agile and innovative to navigate the challenges and maintain their competitive edge.
Okay, let's wrap up this section with a key question for you, listener. How do APR's growth prospects and their focus on sustainability align with your own investment philosophy or your outlook on the global economy?
It's a crucial question to consider as you evaluate APR's potential. And on that note, let's move on to our final segment, where we'll delve into some of the more nuanced details from their reports and presentations. Things like their risk management strategies, their corporate governance practices, and their specific sustainability initiatives.
Sounds good. Let's unpack those details and see what we can learn.
Starting with risk management, they're facing a number of challenges,
Right.
So it's crucial to understand how they're mitigating those risks.
Agreed. Their reports highlighted a few key areas of focus.
Cybersecurity was a major one, given their reliance on complex IT systems. They mentioned implementing robust security measures to protect their data and systems from cyber attacks.
And they also highlighted their efforts to reduce their reliance on manual processes, particularly in their financial reporting.
Right, they're investing in automation and digitalization to improve efficiency and reduce the risk of errors.
They also acknowledged the risk of disruptions to their supply chains, given the global nature of their business.
Yeah, they're diversifying their sourcing and building stronger relationships with their suppliers to mitigate that risk.
And they're also focused on developing a robust talent pipeline to ensure they have the skilled workforce they need to support their growth.
Exactly. They're investing in training and development programs, as well as initiatives to attract and retain top talent.
So it seems like they're taking a proactive approach to risk management.
They are, and it's essential for a company operating in such a dynamic and complex environment.
Okay, let's talk about corporate governance. They seem to have a strong focus on ethical conduct and transparency.
They do. They have a comprehensive code of conduct, a whistleblower policy, and a strong board of directors with independent members.
They also have various committees overseeing things like risk management audit and corporate social responsibility.
Right, and they're committed to complying with all applicable laws and regulations.
They're also making a conscious effort to promote diversity and inclusion throughout their organization.
Yes, they have specific initiatives to increase the representation of women and minorities in leadership positions.
So it seems like they're ticking all the right boxes when it comes to corporate governance.
They are, and it's essential for building trust with their stakeholders and ensuring the long-term sustainability of their business.
Okay, let's move on to our final topic, sustainability.
Okay.
They've made some bold commitments in this area.
They're aiming to reduce their carbon footprint, promote renewable energy, and achieve water neutrality at their largest facility.
And they're not just talking about it, they're taking concrete steps to achieve those goals.
Right. They're investing in energy-efficient technologies, reducing their water consumption, and promoting sustainable practices throughout their supply chain.
They're also actively engaging with their stakeholders on sustainability issues and reporting on their progress.
And they're even working to develop new products and services that contribute to a more sustainable future.
Like their biodegradable transformer oil.
Exactly. It's a great example of how they're using innovation to drive sustainability.
So it seems like they're taking a holistic approach to sustainability, integrating it into all aspects of their business.
They are. And it's clear that they see sustainability as a key driver of long-term value creation.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've delved into Apar's business model, their growth prospects, their risk management strategies, their corporate governance practices, and their sustainability initiatives.
It's been a deep dive.
It really has, and we've analyzed their financials, assessed their strengths and weaknesses, and explored the key trends shaping their future.
And hopefully we've given you a lot to think about.
Yes, and we've connected all of this back to you, listener, challenging you to think about how Apar's journey might impact your own life or your investment decisions.
Exactly. This deep dive was all about giving you the information you need.
Hopefully this deep dive has given you a comprehensive understanding of Apar Industries and their place in the world.
I think you're right. It's a complex and fascinating story, and it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds in the coming years.
Agreed. And for you, listener, one final thought to leave you with. How might Apar's successes, or even their struggles, inspire you to think differently about your own role in building a more sustainable and equitable future? It's a question worth pondering. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.
Bye for now.